Is Glencore PLC a good stock for the long term? Let's analyze it together, but first of all, read the disclaimer right here in the video description below, and also subscribe to the NST to watch more content like this, the most popular stocks of Wall Street and also in Europe. The thing here is with this stock, we're talking about negative net income, which is important, in the last 4 semi-annual income statements. That's something that I don't really like in a stock, but apart from that, is like, and the key question here is like, okay, is the worst already passed? It's like, will we have better net incomes in the future? Let's analyze it together. We're gonna see actually the forecast, the current forecast by I believe is 17 analysts from Wall Street. Yeah, that's correct. And the average of them think the stock should go up more than it's like 13%, and the most optimistic one more than 28%. I think it's justified, those numbers were correlated with the EPS forecast, because it's like the best forecast that was reported is like this in this first semi-annual income statement of 2022. At that time, look at the reported earnings. It's completely beautiful in that sense, obviously, because these unprecedented circumstances that happened in that year. But now look at the situation in the first semi-annual income statement of 2025. It's kind of bad, you know. But the thing here is like the next ones are gonna be better. And this is important because the price action doesn't tend to follow the present, but the future. So if the future is gonna be good, and that's probably the reason why the stock is already going up, is because of these expectations, you know. Because if we're gonna have better net income, it's justified to have the price, the price increase in that sense in the stock. The thing here is like, forget about this losses that we have in the last four semi-annual income statements, and think about the future. And the future is gonna be good. It's not gonna be extraordinarily good, but it's gonna be better than before, than now. The thing here is like the annual EPS is just telling you the truth. It's like, if this, look at the deviation. This is important because obviously this is Wall Street analysts thinking about the future of the stock based on different analysis. But the thing here is like, look at the deviation between the reported earnings and the estimate. It's not very different. Actually, the last one, the report was better than the expectations that they had. So if this trend continues, and we're gonna see, for instance, if everything comes into place by the end of 2027, we're gonna see a 0.32 of EPS, which is in comparison to before. We had to compare those numbers to 2023. In 2023, we were trading around 440, which is way above from current levels, you know, and this is important. So I believe, at least in the short term, based on this trend, because right now it's rebounding hardly, we could see these levels in the coming future. But obviously, the only risk that we have, I would say, and we're gonna see the risks that we have, is like the general market crash is the very same issue that we have in other stocks, you know. So we're gonna see exactly more reasons behind this trend. It's like, why is it going up? Because it's not that simple as the income statement, but there are other reasons to it, and this is one of my favorite ones. It's like the company is executing cost savings, $1 billion target, and operational discipline initiatives. This is very important because when you, if you want to see better numbers, and I studied a lot of companies that were entered into bankruptcy or were nearly into those very bad numbers, into a situation that they cannot exit from, you know, from it. And the thing is, like, when you do this, when you focus your energy in cost savings and trying to improve your efficiency as a company, those numbers tend to be translated in the future into a better net income, which, you know, therefore the price could increase because of that, you know. So this is important. Apart from that, you know, it's like there are other reasons to it. It's like the production update shows copper output better than before, than the previous quarter. So obviously that is translated into profits as well, as long as the price, you know, of copper, it remains high. Not increasingly high as in, you know, it was in February 2022 and March 2022, but at least it's gonna be relatively high. Apart from that, guys, it's like the portfolio position and asset move. Glencore has exposure both to transitional metals, copper, cobalt, zinc, and to more traditional commodities, coal, steel making materials. So that gives it a hedge exposure in a cyclical upturn. So there are more reasons apart from these ones. You can see all of them here. But important thing, the key takeaway here is like they are focusing on improving the numbers. It's like they are not focusing on everything, anything else, you know. And this is important. They are focused on this and not on, you know, all other difficult situations that they did have before. And the situation is completely different right now because in 2022 that increase in price was really high. It was kind of crazy. And after that, it's like the expectations were still high, but the price, it couldn't follow. You know, the net income couldn't follow that number. And right now, the situation could change anytime soon. And that's the important thing. If this changes, the price could continue to increase. So what do you think about this stock? Do you think it's a good one for long term? Do you think it's just completely an upturn that is just short term, like it could reverse right now from these levels? In terms of technical analysis, the situation, it could be turned into a new downtrend apparently from here. We could take even this trend, we could clearly see that it could go down again. If we go to the RSI and MACD, they are telling us the same thing, and this is the reason why probably it's just better to wait a little bit, at least to wait for a correction and then buy. That's normally the strategy, and this is my opinion, of course. You have to analyze the stock, you have to analyze the news, you have to analyze the fundamentals, as I do, and more things. But essentially, when you find a good stock, there are corrections, and maybe this is one of them, and it's better just to wait a little bit, especially after these negative losses from the last semi-annual income statements. After that, you see a correction and then you buy it. So probably the best moment to do it is after when you see the stock in oversold territory in the RSI and MACD. As it happens right here, we have at the very same example of it. You buy at the very extreme level of the RSI right here. The last time it happened was in April 2020, and look at what happened. Look at the uptrend that follow after. Sometimes the best strategies are the most simple ones, and this is an example of it. Well, 400%, the best trend, one of the best trends ever in the stock. And then obviously you buy at the top of the RSI right here, at the top of the MACD right here, and it's the worst moment to do it. Still, look at this divergence. This is very important, you know, because still here it made new highs. And look at the various divergence that we saw in the RSI and MACD. Very important levels. It's like, okay, you had an opportunity to exit your position in time. And for those who didn't do it, they faced like a completely turn reversal, and a very important one. So these are the signals that you had to follow. In this case, you don't have a bullish divergence, and that's probably the reason I wouldn't buy it right now. I would prefer to buy it with a correction right here in the RSI, going down a little bit, and then turning again up, you know, like reversing as it did right here. You know, it's like at the very extreme level, you see this darker red histogram going up a little bit. This is the signal that you want to find right now, but not this one. Right now it's completely the opposite. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, leave your comments below about what you think about the stock. Do you think it's a good one for the long term? And see you in the next analysis.